Hello, I hope you guys are doing well. So we are going to do a tarot breakdown of the Ukraine versus Russia situation that we have going on right now. I already did the astrology breakdown. That will be in the second part of the video. So those who want to see my astrological breakdown of what's going on, that will be in the second part of the video. Right now, we're going to focus on the tarot and what the spirit guides have to say about this whole situation, what they see coming. And I'm kind of excited to see, because I'm glad I did the astrology first, because now I can see like if the astrology is going to match up with the tarot, and usually it does. Okay, so we have the world. This is very interesting because the world is definitely a part of what we're dealing with right now, right? This is world events. So I think it's very interesting that this is coming up. I want to make sure you guys can see this. All right, so yeah, that's the world. And then we have the Judgment card, also known as the Truth card in this deck. This is very crazy that major arcanas are coming up and we're doing worldwide events. It's just very on point. Like I know that this energy is on point because of the major arcanas. When you're talking about worldwide events, usually major arcanas are going to come out. So we have solar eclipse. Wow. So this is basically talking about a complete change. And I was talking a lot about Saturn in my astrology breakdown, and both of these cards represent Capricorn for me. The World and the Judgment card, I think of Capricorn. I also think of big business, big government when I'm thinking about this. I'm laughing because Pluto was a big part of the astrological breakdown. Anybody who's an astrologer right now, right, is talking about Pluto and how important Pluto is in this whole fiasco. I kind of took the heat off of Pluto a little bit in my astrological breakdown because I personally don't think that Pluto has so much to do with everything. I think Pluto is fueling a lot of the energy, but I think Saturn actually is the figurehead behind it. It's like Pluto is doing a lot of the dirty work. Like Pluto has no problem being ratchet, or, you know, like Pluto is the hitter, right? But Capricorn is the one who ordered, or Saturn is the one who's ordering the hit, if that makes any sense. So this is talking about really big change. Pluto here is talking about the destruction, the rebirth. Okay, so things are being destroyed. Pluto is in a very warmongering part of the sky, which is what I said in my astrological breakdown. So this is complete restructuring. What I'm seeing right here is complete restructuring of the world. And this has happened. The events in the sky, Saturn right now, this was seen in 1929, 1989, and now it's being seen since 2019. We've been going through this kind of shift here. Now these cards came out first, so we'll take these first. We have the Justice card. Yeah, I'm telling you guys, complete government restructure. Complete government restructure. We have the Moon. So more is about to be revealed to us. We don't know everything. This is just the tip of the iceberg. I'm hearing the Six of Cups, Lord of Pleasure. Interesting. This is Sun in Scorpio, so I'm going to take that as the scorpionic energy here. But I'm also, again, getting that this past repeats itself, because the Scorpio energy, the Six of Cups, is talking about nostalgia. We've been through this before. I do feel like this is going to be different than anything we've seen before, of course, because it's a different time. All right. Where it's the future, technically. We have the star. So a lot of this will be social mediatized. I know that's not a word, right? But you know how they say like the revolution won't be televised? This will be showing up a lot on social media. And social media wasn't a big thing back in 1989 when Saturn was in the same position or around this part of the sky restructuring things. And then obviously in 1929 that wasn't a factor either. So we also see the Three of Pentacles. So I feel like with the Three of Pentacles, there's going to be three major countries in this. I mean, I guess the United States might be the other one, because I'm getting that the UK, obviously, and then we got Russia. But I also see another big key player here. It could be the United States. We have the Six of Wands, the Lord of Victory, and we have the Fool. Wow. So they are going to be successful in restructuring everything. Like this is going to be, we're going to be going into a brand new time. And it's interesting that this Fool card is here because this is Aquarius. And I said when Saturn truly goes into Aquarius in sidereal astrology, which he does not go, Saturn does not go into Aquarius until later in 2023. That's when we're going to start seeing a lot of more peaceful resolutions, more innovative resolutions. Solutions is what I'm getting even. Okay? So I do feel like they will succeed in restructuring things. Things are going to be more technological. This is like the ushering in of the actual Aquarius age. Okay? The Aquarius age is going to start basically in 2023. Okay? What's the Six of Wands here, though? Because what's this victory about? The Seven of Pentacles. Let's see. The Chariot. I feel like one country is going to really benefit from this. There's going to be one country in particular that very much benefits from this whole situation that we're seeing here. Yeah, the Tower, big changes. There's going to be a country that comes in and shuts down everything. I get that it could be us. It could be the United States. The Emperor. I also see a lot of like this. A lot of this has been plotted and planned. The Seven of Swords. But yeah, it's like one person in particular is the Tower and the Emperor. It's like someone who is commanding, like it's like a bombing. And I'm not saying Hiroshima, but I just heard that. So it's like a bombing that shuts everything down, that finishes it. It's going to be a man. This Emperor is going to order a bombing that basically like the other countries, the other people involved in this are going to give up. Okay, give me some more about this Emperor, please. Ten of Wands. A Lord of Oppression. Lord. The Lord of Oppression. This is not good. I don't feel like this is us. Feels like another person. Yeah, the King of Wands. This is a King of Wands. I should have found out what Putin's sign is, because this doesn't feel like it's a good thing. Whoever this is. Let's see. I don't even know. Oh, Lord, October 7th. Sounds accurate. October's be crazy. I don't know who this King of Wands is, but there's somebody here. I don't think it's Biden. This King of Wands doesn't give me Biden. Or maybe we bomb this person. There's there's a bombing that happens. And okay. So okay. So I think, let me see. Let me just make sure I'm reading this right, because I think I'm getting what's happening here. I think that there's a country that, it's Kamala. I think it's Kamala. I think Kamala is going to be in power at this time. I don't know what happens to Biden, but you know what's so interesting is when I was doing Biden's reading, I kept getting his reign, or his, not reign, well, I didn't mean to say reign, but his term being shorter than he expects it. And then with this Queen of Swords coming out with the Wheel of Fortune, I feel like this is Kamala Harris. I feel like she is going to wind up being in control. And I think she's going to stop Putin. Because this Lord of Oppression, I think, is Putin. And I think she's going to stop this person, Tower. There's going to be a bombing that ends this. This is going to end in a bombing. Like a big bombing. Alright? I don't know who's going to get bombed, but it feels like that's what ends the war. It's like someone, like, I feel like the Queen of Swords, Kamala Harris, she flexes. Like, she shows our power. I think it's us. And the Queen of Swords, I always get that for her. So I think it's her, actually. She's the one. Four of Pentacles, Three of Swords. Because I feel like the sanctions aren't working. I don't think that the sanctions are going to work. I also feel like there could be some sort of tragedy that prompts this response. Three of Swords. Yeah. The sanctions don't work. The sanctions are not going to work. And then we have death here. So I feel like there could be like, this could be in August even. There could be like a catastrophic event from this Lord of Oppression, this Putin. I think that's Putin. And I think it prompts, yeah, King of Swords, that's him. Yeah, I think this might happen in August. There could be like a bombing or something that brings a lot of death in August. And I think that Kamala Harris, for some reason, I think she's the one, she exercises some sort of power and bombs Putin or bombs, you know, their troops, their forces, and it kind of ends this war. How long is this going to go on? I think 3 years is what I'm hearing, but let me see. How long is this going to go on, Spirit? And keep in mind, this is just a prediction. Okay, let me see. So I feel like over a year, like maybe close to 2 years. This could go on close to 2 years, 3 years maybe. Yeah, I'm getting that it could be closer to like 2 or 3 years. This could go on for 2 or 3 years. That could be why Kamala is in office, because maybe Biden doesn't make it. Because Biden, I mean, he's up there. What happens to Biden? Shoot, that could even be the what this death is. It could be Strength, Queen of Wands. It's not really telling me what's going to happen to Biden. It's not really telling me here. The Hermit. I don't know. Maybe he has to step down for some reason. He could have to step down for some reason. But I think Kamala is going to be the one who ends this war in some way. I think it's her. I don't think it's Biden. And like I said, I think this might go on for like 2 or 3 years is what I'm getting. Definitely longer than a year. You know, I definitely think this is going to go on into 2023. Let me see. Yeah. I think definitely is going to be happening a year from now in 2023. And then that's almost 2 years. And then, yeah, this feels like closer to like over 2 years. Like it's probably going to end in 2025. Maybe the end of 2024, 2025. Like this is going to fully be ended. I don't know if that's how long it takes for like the war to go on, or because you know these peace treaties and stuff take a while. So let me see if there anything else we need to know about the situation. A lot of this stuff might not make sense now, but it probably will make sense in some, you know, as time goes on. The Queen of Wands. A Queen of Wands keeps coming out. I keep seeing like women energy here. So I feel like there's something here. I think that Kamala is a big player in this with the Queen of Swords. I do. Do we have anything to be worried about? Let's see. Do we have anything to be worried about in the United States? Or just as a general collective? Is there anything that we need to be worried about with this war? Is there anything we need to be worried about with this war? The Two of Pentacles. See, harmonious change. There's definitely going to be changes here. Yeah. I think it's gonna be sad, but I feel like we're gonna bring in like this new energy with the Fool. It's like gonna be brand new energy. Yeah, it's like it's sad going through it, but I think we're about to go through a period of peace after this with the Fool and the Lovers. So I think that it's not. Yeah, the hardest part about it is not knowing what's gonna happen next. There's a lot of fear around where are we going, the changes that are happening. And I don't think it's going to be a happy time. I think it's going to be sad with the Three of Swords here. Yeah, King of Wands, the Star. I don't know. There could be a loss. I don't know. The King of Wands. What is this King of Wands here? I wonder if this is Biden. Yes, the King of Cups. This could be Biden. I don't want to say he's going to pass away, but maybe there might be a power change here. Four of Swords. Yeah, I feel like rest from strife. Like, I feel like he's going to have to step down. I think Biden's going to have to step down. And I think that this conflict is going to last about 3 years. I don't know why I'm getting that, but like it doesn't have to be like exactly 3 years, but it feels like that. Okay, so I feel like after this, we're going to go towards a period of tranquility and peace. But I wouldn't be surprised if there's a power change. Like Biden has to step down, Four Swords, and I think Kamala might take over. Personally, that's what I'm seeing, and that's what this is about: restructuring. Technically, we would have the first woman president in this energy. So big restructuring, big changes. And I think there is like a period of peace after this with the Fool and the Lovers. Okay? So that's what I'm going to leave it as. I mean, like I said, I don't know what's going to happen. This is just what I'm getting, and this is a lot of this is channeled and just off the top. It does kind of match with the astrology. Like I said, we're not going to see big changes until Saturn goes into Aquarius. He retrogrades a little bit, and then he goes into Aquarius and in 2023, and he will stay in Aquarius for about 2 to 3 years, depending on if he retrogrades. So this makes sense what I'm saying. Like, it's going to take some time to get to peace with this situation. Okay, so I'll talk to you guys later. Make sure you check out the astrology portion. All right, bye.
Hello, hello. So we are about to get into the astrological breakdown from my point of view of what's going on in the world right now. Okay, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Now, keep in mind, I am a 13 sign sidereal astrologer. So my perspective of things are going to be different than most people. Okay, most people are using Western astrology, and even if they're using Vedic astrology, they're still using a more 12 sign base. They don't use 13 signs. So when I say certain astrological placements, you might get triggered because they're different than what you're used to hearing. But this is my perspective and my breakdown, okay? Which I was kind of asked to do a couple times, so this is why I'm doing it. All right, so now the chart that I have in front of us is based off of today when I'm filming this, the 25th of February. Funnily enough, I actually started this at 2:22 a.m. and you know, from what I'm hearing, a lot of this conflict started on February 22nd, 2022. So a lot of people are kind of side-eyeing this whole event like it's very esoteric based. And I would agree with you. From my analysis that I've done some digging. It looks like this is definitely very esoteric based, but this is also a cycle that we have constantly gone through for a while now. I will say I've dug back as far as 1929, the Great Depression. This is when I've just, you know, caught this cycle that we're going on. I'm sure it goes back before that, but I'm not going to go back further than 1929. I think that the Great Depression is a great place to start because we all kind of know, you know, if you're of a certain age, you kind of know about what the Great Depression is, and we can all kind of relate. So this chart is the UK event. I'm going to use this chart to kind of talk about what's going on right now. Now, this is a Western astrology chart that I have up. It's a 12 sign chart. The reason why I wanted to start it off like this is because I wanted to show you guys how to change it into a 13 signs chart in case you're curious and you have Astro app. So in Astro app, you're going to go up to traditions. You're going to click on that. You're going to hit 13 signs zodiac, and then you'll hit the 13 signs wheel and it will convert it over to a new chart for you, which will be 13 signs based. Okay, so now this chart, I brung this up to kind of show you guys what's going on right now. A lot of readers, a lot of astrologers are focused on Pluto right now. And I'm not going to say Pluto isn't a problem. I think Western astrology has Pluto in Capricorn, and the sidereal zodiac, when we deal with our placements, we're actually looking at where the planets are in the sky. So right now, Pluto is actually sitting in Sagittarius. He has not made it to Capricorn. Pluto will not be in Capricorn until 2023, later on in 2023. So Pluto's actually been in Sagittarius for years now. He actually hasn't moved from another sign for a while now. I want to say the last time he moved a sign might have been 2008, but I think it was might even been before that. But we're not so much I'm not going to focus so much on Pluto in this reading because he's actually not the big player here. I want to show you guys what's actually happening here. So Pluto, he is in a very warmongering part of the sky. He's in close to a nakshatra in Vedic astrology known as the Mula nakshatra, which is a nakshatra that is based around death and rebirth. Okay, it's also, I believe, ruled by K2, and K2 is known as also a more destroyer, destructive energy. Pluto itself is a destroyer and a destructive energy, and it's in a place in the sky that is known to bring about big radical changes, especially through war. Okay, Sagittarius is a very jovial energy, but it's also a very warmongering energy because of the centaur nature and the fiery energy. Okay, it's like it burns things down with fire to renew it. Okay, so that's kind of what Pluto is doing. He's actually been there for a while, so we're not seeing too many effects on Pluto other than certain other planets that are transiting Pluto and creating these aspects. Yes, he is being activated, or she actually is being activated, but she's been in Sagittarius for a while. And yes, the nakshatra, the area of the sky that she is in, is very war based and very warmongering. So yes, she does have a lot to do with what we're seeing right now. But the actual culprit of this, in my opinion, is Saturn. Now, Western astrology has Saturn in Aquarius right now. Saturn is actually in his own sign or her own sign, because Capricorn is actually more of a gender binary type of energy, I guess. It's actually in Capricorn right now, okay? The ruler, Saturn rules Capricorn, loves being in Capricorn. It's Saturn's favorite place to be, really. So this is the kind of discrepancy between Western and Sidereal or 13 signs, because Saturn is in Aquarius, which speaks about a totally different energy. When Saturn is in Capricorn, he's restructuring business, he's restructuring government, he's restructuring the whole infrastructure. He's basically now that Sagittarius has went through and burned everything down and destroyed it, Capricorn comes in, rebuilds it. Capricorn comes in and brings it structure, discipline. It does the hard work, okay? So right now is why you're seeing so much infrastructure change, so much business change, so much even war even, because sometimes when Saturn comes in and says, this is the changes we're going to make, or this is the structure we're going to implement, there are a lot of people who want to resist Saturn, and Saturn is about power. He's a cardinal sign, so he will come in with force if necessary as well. A lot of people just kind of fall into the leadership of Saturn because of the strong nature and the unmovable energy of Saturn, but there are people who will resist the new regime, who will resist the new structure. So war is not Capricorn ain't afraid to go to war either, okay? It's a very cardinal sign. It actually is very trigger happy if you think about it, just like Sagittarius. But Capricorn is not just gonna jump out there. But since we do have Pluto and Sagittarius, and we have Capricorn, Saturn and Capricorn, they're both kind of working together to bring about this new infrastructure. So we're still in that energy of war. We're still in that energy of restructuring how we do business with each other, how governments are relating to each other, those types of things. And I wanted to really showcase why this is happening. So back in 1993, Saturn was in this a very similar position. Here you guys see 1824. He's there now. This is today, okay? Back in 1993, the same day. So back in 1993, when Bill Clinton was president, during this same day, back in 1993, we had Saturn basically in the same position, very close position to where he is today in the sky. And during that time, we had the Bosnia War. And the Bosnia War was fought for a while, and then the United States intervened. And it was basically to prevent ethnic cleansing by Serbia. And by, I believe, let me see when the Dayton Accords happened. This was in 95. By 95, we were actually able to create peace in that war. I think this actually happened in Dayton, Ohio. So I just want to show you guys at the same time in 93, there was a war, and it was not necessarily between Russia and Ukraine, but it was around in that area, and there was a war that was going on at that time, and it was fought until about 95. When Saturn finally went into Aquarius, there was peace, okay? So when Saturn is truly in Aquarius, you will usually see times of peace, okay? Or a peace finally happening between whoever was going through that war. So That's kind of what's happening right now, guys. Right now, Saturn is in a very warmongering part of the sky where there's going to be a lot of restructuring, a lot of war energy right now. And then when Saturn finally moves into Aquarius, he moves into Aquarius on in February of next year, in February 2023. That's when we're going to see a lot of the peace. That's going to start happening in 2023, closer to 2024. It doesn't have to happen exactly when Saturn transits over into Aquarius, but that's when we'll start seeing a lot of this conflict that we're seeing right now settle down. Okay, so Saturn is not truly in Aquarius right now, because if Saturn was in Aquarius, we wouldn't have so much of this warmongering. Aquarius is a very unified energy. It's a very what am I trying to say, humanitarian energy. It's very utopian. Okay, so when Saturn actually does go into Aquarius, that's when we'll start seeing peace in this whole conflict. So I would say this Ukraine-Russia conflict will be resolved probably by 2024 or maybe 2025, but I don't feel like this conflict is going to be resolved until then. Okay, now I also want to show another part of this video and show you how I know that it's actually Saturn creating this craziness, because it happens time and time again. So what Saturn will do is he'll go through Sagittarius and he'll start creating like collapses, right? He'll go through Sagittarius before he gets into Capricorn, right? And he'll create these collapses so that he can restructure everything. And I'm going to show you guys. He did it in 1929. Let me make sure I have the right chart up and redraw it. In 1929, you'll see he went through Sagittarius, and like right when he got into Sagittarius, because he's like 1 degree here, during the Great Depression, and that's when we had one of the biggest collapses ever, right? And so he comes into Sagittarius, which is a very warmongering part of the sky again, and he creates these big collapses, all right? He did it again in 1989. He was in Sagittarius here, and he created a collapse. This was November 9th, 1989. So what, 60 years right after the Great Depression. He's in the same place again, and around the same place in the sky again, and he creates this big collapse, and then he goes into Capricorn after it, and then he restructures. He did it again in 2019 with the pandemic. The pandemic supposedly officially started on November 17th, 2019, and he was in Sagittarius, created this big collapse, and now again he's in Capricorn creating restructure. So he's done this time and time again. It's not Pluto. All right, it's Pluto is cool, but if you'll notice, Pluto's been in different places. He was in Libra during the Berlin collapse. Pluto, I keep disrespecting you, but Pluto was in Gemini during the Great Depression. During COVID-19, Pluto was in Sagittarius, I believe. Yes, he is in Sagittarius, but I feel like that's more, I don't want to say it's a coincidence. I feel like it's fueling a lot of this that's going on. I think Pluto being in Sagittarius is why we have such a big spiritual revolution, why we're seeing so many spiritual influencers pop up, why we're seeing so much awakening around spirituality. But in reality, and we're restructuring how we do traditional religions, and we're restructuring what we believe in. I think Pluto has a lot to do more with that than this actual war and business restructuring and government restructuring. That's Saturn. He does this time and time again, and I've showed you guys different instances. Berlin, he was there in Sagittarius creating a collapse. Great Depression, 1929, he's there creating a collapse. COVID-19, he's there creating a collapse. And then after it, he comes in, goes into Capricorn, restructures everything through warmongering, through government fights and, business restructuring. And then he goes into Aquarius, which he will do in 2023. And then in the Dayton Accords, when they finally were able to resolve the Bosnian conflict, Bosnian war, he was also in Aquarius during this utopian unified. That's when people are going to want to start coming together. That's when Capricorn has kind of gotten his way and we're all on the same page. So I hope that this makes sense. I'm going to have to go back and listen to it and make sure that it's the way I want it to be. The last thing I will really talk about that's also fueling a lot of this energy is Uranus being in Aries, okay? Uranus being in Aries is another reason why we're seeing a lot of this hostile energy, because Uranus represents radical change. And the way that Uranus is seeing fit to bring radical change right now is through Aries, is through war. So that's why we're seeing a lot of these placements. It's not so much Pluto. So Pluto is a factor, but I wanted to just bring the Saturn energy here. And I also wanted to bring Uranus into it because Saturn also is a traditional ruler of Uranus. So he has a lot of influence over what Uranus is over there doing as well. So I hope that this breakdown makes sense. If you watched it, you know, I hope it does make sense to you, but just know that Saturn is a big player, and I think people downplay Saturn's importance overall. Okay, so this is my analysis and breakdown of what's happening. Like I said, I believe that this is going to go on until about 2024, maybe 2025. Hopefully we can resolve something in 2023, but we'll see. All right, I hope that you guys enjoyed this. Bye.